Hello, Millwall fans. Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.
Hello, Millwall fans. I can see. Yeah. I knew you'd like that.
Yeah,
Give me a vibe.
I feel that's far too big a build-up for us, but never mind.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're listening from, Millwall fans, and welcome back to another episode of Chat with Chaps. This is the opposition view, where, of course, we get the view from some opposition supporters. And I'm going to let you into a little secret. Out of all of my opposition views that I do throughout the season, this is my favourite because we get the Three Musketeers on. So the Watford boys from the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. We've got Pete, Justin, and Carlos on. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a bit of an intro for you. You've got a theme song and
that's really set the tone. I think that theme tune.
That'd be good now, right? That'd be good now. Yeah. It was a level of professionalism that we simply will not rise to. I mean, look at Carl. Carl's 3'1", by the way. That's actually his height.
I know. I don't know what's happening, and I don't want to mess with the camera now. I've just accepted.
Peter is buy him an adjustable camera like we did. Oh, never mind. Anyway,
I've got one, but I don't want to adjust it now. Thank you. Thank you.
Enough of this. Let's not have domestics on other people's podcasts. Let's leave that for our own. Off you go, sir. You tell us. Otherwise, this will go very badly wrong.
Thank you. I didn't want to rudely interrupt. You're right, a little domestic. Gents. Mixed bag of a start to the season. Obviously, not the greatest result for you boys on Saturday. I'm just going to be honest. Like I like to think I know quite a bit about Championship football, except for one team, and it's you, because I never know who your manager or who your players are going to be. Just tell me what was the summer like, and how have you started the season?
Well, I thought the summer was pretty good actually. I think we managed to lose some players that probably need to go, and I think on paper it looks as though we'd strengthened the squad. There's been a couple of what I think are quite exciting signings. One of which is Nestori Irankunda, who I'm sure has come across your radar already with a couple of spectacular free kicks. But having said that, 5 points from 5 games tells its own story, I think. So, not great, I'm going to say. Does anybody else want to say it was better than I've just painted the picture, or have I kind of said it all?
Well, okay, I'll say it. Well, Watford, let's face it, Watford's previous 3 seasons had been basically right up there with Prince Andrew's PR department for awful. And in this last summer, it's been slightly less awful. In fact, it's been quite enthusing because we've got rid of quite a lot of the deadwood, not all of it. Looking at you, Mr. Sissoko from Saturday, but a lot of it has gone, and we've got some really good, young, vibrant. Really young is the real key word, though. We really don't have much experience. And of course, every time anybody says that, somebody trots out and says, "Well, you got Mr. Sissoko." Well, yeah, but we could have Kenny Dalglish. He'd be about as mobile, to be quite frank. So it's been an issue. One of the things that we're hoping for will be the return of Imran Louza, who, after 3 seasons of failing to really land properly under Tom Cleverley, just became the player we'd always wanted and has still carried that on, but he got a 3-match ban, and therefore that came to an end against Blackburn. And we've been floundering a bit in midfield. See Musa Sissoko for details, and now he'll come back, so we're hoping that we'll have some kind of metronome to let us play. But the new manager, yes, Paolo Pezzolano, everybody,
yes,
welcome to Google. Yeah, that was us in the summer.
Google that.
Yeah.
Tell us about him then.
He's a sort of a Red Adair kind of, bring you in when you need to get promotion from the second tier. He's had 3 promotions. He's coached in Uruguay, Brazil, Mexico, and Spain, and he got promoted 3 times and he won a cup in one. But his promotion from the second tier is great. But as we all know, the Championship is unlike any other second tier anywhere in the world, and he's finding that out at this moment in time. he's really sort of seemingly, he came in and the noises weren't very good in the camp. He upset a load of people. And then various things came back where they said, yeah, we have done, but now things are really good and it's going okay. And it was sort of looking sort of all right until last 2 minutes or 4 minutes into injury time against Charlton in the first game. And then he worked out that, we can't defend crosses. So we'd set up as a 4-3-3 all the way through the summer, recruited as a 4-3-3 all the way through the summer. So we've got exciting wingers. And then with 20 minutes to go against Norwich or with 20 minutes gone, I should say, against Norwich in the Carabao or whatever, whoever's sponsoring it these days, we'd conceded 2. And it showed that we cannot defend with 2 at the back. So he literally changed everything that had been worked on in pre-season to a 3-5-2 to kind of negate that. So you've got all of these wingers who suddenly couldn't be accommodated because we're playing 2 up front. Iran Kunda, who Justin's mentioned, is fantastic, and he'll run all day and he'll break the lines and he's great fun, lovely. But we've got 8 players trying to vie for 2 positions. So now, and on Saturday, we changed shape, and it didn't work. It really, really didn't work.
Because Blackburn, I think they're a poor side. They haven't really got. They lost a lot of players. Obviously, they lost Dom Hyam, Lewis Travis. I was really shocked to see them to come to your place and leave with 3 points.
We were enjoying their post-mortem in the opposition view last week. It was great. I mean, and then Ian from 4,000 Holes turned around and went, "Yeah, I think we'll win 1-0 though." After kind of after wearing sackcloth and ashes and woe is he, and he wasn't wrong because that's what they do at Watford.
Well, I mean, you've already touched on Iran Kunda. Have I got that right? Have I pronounced that right? Iran Kunda. You also, so you think he cost a couple of £1 million. You signed, is it Petris? Is he a right back or a right winger? And then Marma? I don't know.
We haven't seen anything of Marma.
But they were your money signings, right? In terms of where you spent money.
Not quite, because we never, it's always undisclosed. So probably the big one, but I'll let Carl take him away, is Kieran Guard has cost us money and is a big hope.
Yeah, massive hope. Scored 2 goals, if I'm right, so far this season. QPR. QPR. So looks the right player that we need. I think adjusting to the Championship is going to be his biggest struggle this season, because he's quickly realizing that defenders don't muck about in this league, and he's a player that, as Pete said, I'm sure there's a lot of prospect there, but I don't know if he's going to be 15 goals this season. So the goals have got to come from somewhere else, and the chat we just spoke about, Kunda and Bar, who tore it up last season, has shown this season again in the small glimpses that we've seen him that he is a standout player for us. But can they both be in the team at the same time? And that's the problem. Unfortunately, because Imran Kunda was playing for Australia up to the Blackburn game, they switched it around, and Bar, from my point of view anyway, Bar went missing during pretty much most of the game. And then we switched it around. Imran Kunda come on, which we would normally do with Bar, to try and liven it up. But there was nothing really up top on Saturday, and that is not a side that is going to get pushed for the playoffs or get promoted. Let's put it that way. Let's put it bluntly. And unfortunately for the owner, he has risen his flag very high and proud, saying that they're going to have a go this season. So there's already pressure talks, in the corridors and bits coming out of the club. So I don't want to be the doom merchant, because that's Justin's job, but I certainly feel that it is. I'm sorry. I certainly feel that if he got a couple of bad results over the next few weeks, we'll be talking about another manager. I think they've committed and they've got to do something about it.
It's interesting because I remember speaking to you boys last season, and myself included, everyone predicted you to have a really, really poor season. And it was a bit of a season of maybe not quite 2 halves, but
it was.
The first part, you were bloody good, and it looked like you were going to be in the top 6, and then you completely fell off. And I think you ended up sort of lower mid-table, didn't you? But it could have gone either way. Like, I guess, but a lot of people had you to go down last season, I think is the point, yourselves included, which you didn't. So realistically, where do you expect to be this season?
Well, I suppose it depends on how we do after Christmas, because traditionally we drop off after Christmas. We certainly did that last season. So, we really do need to start winning some games is basically is the message. And if we carry on the way we're going, you can't see anything other than lower mid-table, really. We don't look like a team that's pushing for anything other than mid-table mediocrity at the moment. It's hard to tell. I mean, Chakvedadze hasn't kicked a ball yet this season. You
had him. Excellent.
Yeah, so did we.
Yeah.
So he's been out since what, April? Chakvedadze?
Yeah.
So, he hasn't kicked a ball yet. As Peter said, Loser's back now after suspension. That will make a difference to the team. But, I mean, if we carry on with the sort of run of results that we're getting, 1 point from a game, that's not good, is it? That's almost relegation fodder. So something needs to change and change quickly. Some consistency would be good. Win 2 or 3 games in a row, and you go, okay, right now we're hitting our stride. I mean, we had a very good game against Southampton. It was a 2-2 draw, but that was probably the best game of the season in terms of performance and putting in a shift. And there was 2 great goals, one from each side, 2 free kick by Southampton, and almost immediately we scored the similar sort of free kick up the other end. Brilliant game, but a point, Mm-hmm. So we need to start winning some games desperately. Otherwise, as Carl said, I reckon there might be a bit of a call on Pezzolano's head if he doesn't start changing things around a little bit.
Well, I think that the consistency, because of course everybody's going to say we need to win games. That's the whole point of football, duh. But we also need to see something of the manager to show that he knows what his best formation is and he knows what his best side is or his best combination of them. Because so far we've played 4-3-3. We started 4-3-3, changed to 3-5-2. We kept with 3-5-2. We then changed from 3-5-2 to 4-2-3 because we were down 4-2-3-1 against that in that game against Southampton. And then when we came back, we were sort of a 4-4-2, but it was a mess. It was a complete mess. We've got 3 left backs at the club. Now, okay, one may be shot, one may be dead, but one of them surely should be able to play left back. And instead, we played a young Man City loanee. He's a very fine player, and he did all right there. Don't get me wrong, Max Allain, but he's right-footed, and we're playing with a right-footed. We've switched for some reason on that game. We switched Quadro Bar, who was again our attacking outlet, but he sort of went missing. We switched him onto the left. So if you're going to play with inverted wingers, you need natural width coming in to be, supplying that kind of outswinging ball and delivery. And we didn't have it. We didn't have Kayembe for the start of it, which is no bad thing because Kayembe is right up there with Musa Sissoko. They're going toe-to-toe for abominable players of the season so far. But you also didn't have Loser. And we had we got 5 or 6 left-footed players in the team, in the squad rather. Not one was on the park. Not one was on the park playing in that, giving us natural width. It's confused. It looks to me like the manager doesn't really know what he's trying to select. He came out and said, well, I wanted to play 4 because I thought we were ready to play 4. Like that actually means something. After you've lost 1-0, you've had 0.3 XG from open play. Now, I'm as quizzical about XG as anybody else, but basically we created the square root of sod all. And if it's not working, you make a change. And this time he didn't. He just simply froze, as did the team. In the presence of Elton John, as we were wearing blue shirts, and everything just felt very, very surreal. The performance did not live up to the event.
Well, I know we're not here to talk about Millwall per se, but when we do your show, I'll be telling you about another performance that didn't live up to the event, which was us on Saturday. So misery loves company, gents. I mean, we're just going back in time, and then we'll look more forward to the game on Monday. I was about to say Saturday.
Yeah.
Bloody Sky. Cleverly, were you in the out camp or not? I'm just trying to. Was anyone?
Well, there were a few dissenting voices, but on the whole, I think most people were like, look, the guy's done a good job considering the resources you gave him. He's one of ours. He's not one of ours, but he's played more games for Watford than anybody else. He's effectively one of ours. And there was a very strange moment in January where we got wind of the fact that he was imminently going to be replaced. We sort of like let everybody know, basically, this is what's going on. It looks like Clevs might be getting the boot. And then the club received something like 1,000 emails from people saying, please don't do that. That's not a great idea. And then
that's exactly, and that's exactly how they were worded. That polite, no F-bombs
very,
at all.
very, very sort of gentle people in Hertfordshire.
Yeah, Hertfordshire, yeah. Very gentle.
And so basically it then culminated with an away game to Coventry that Carl and I went to. And just before we went, it was like, no, Tom Cleverley will be the manager this week. And you're like, that's a very strange communication to put out. And then after that game, it was, no, we've always had good faith in Tom Cleverley. He's going to be the manager for the foreseeable future. We're like, what? So it was all a bit confused. I think that kind of media and message didn't help Cleverley at all. I think it unsettled the dressing room. I think it unsettled the fans. Yeah, of course. And so the second half of the season was an abomination.
He wasn't backed, was he? He wasn't backed in January. He wasn't
no, he wasn't.
We got a new goalkeeper in January, which was very badly needed. It's like that tyre at the back of your car. You think, I'm going to have to do something about that soon. That got sorted. Okay, so we got a new goalkeeper.
Space saver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to get a tug on this.
It's never been more accurately described as a spare tyre.
It's a flat balding tyre, exactly. Yeah, so that happened. But he didn't get another striker. We sent Jefferson back to Bournemouth, which left us with 2, and then Bio gets either injured or suspended. I can't remember.
Sent off to me.
I was joyous, whatever happened.
Forearm smash.
Yeah.
I wonder what start we would have made this season if Tom was still here with the signings.
I think that's what I'm getting to. I think what I'm getting to is I wonder what start we would have made to the season if Tom was still here. But no, I don't think. Well, us three, I don't think we're in the Tom out camp, and I think the majority of fans weren't either.
From an outsider's point of view, it looked a very, dare I say it, a very Watford-esque decision. Just made no sense.
It's Watford. It's Watford. Welcome to the exploding clown's car of football, as your own supporter Danny Baker would describe Chelsea. We have been that for 3 years. That's the way it is.
It's bonkers. It really is. Well, I hope post Monday you get your season back on track. So, will you be coming to the Den on Monday?
I've got to say, Monday the Den. No.
I'm not going to the Den for hospital reasons. I've not had the last 2 visits to the Den haven't ended well for me, so I'm going to give it a miss, and it's a Monday. So I'm going to have a season off from the Den. Knowing my luck, will get you in the FA Cup 3rd round or something. But
dare I ask why it didn't work well? The results, or because you won?
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I got a fractured skull the first time. Was in hospital for a period of time, and then we were.
Was it the Redwood Bar? Was it the Redwood Bar or something you got?
That was the second time. We were greeted, and a large table came towards me at some point. And I was like, I'm not really digging this, and that was both in London Bridge as well. So the Den was actually lovely. Let me just put that out there before all Millwall fans go bonkers.
What was it? Millwall fans that did that then?
Yeah.
Mate, Jesus Christ.
So that's why I love appearing on here, just in case somebody recognises me.
We got a message, Carl's in a coma, and we're like, we better write some kind words in case he doesn't.
Yeah, because I wasn't coming out. Yeah, no.
That's a serious thing. We did do that. Yeah.
We did. Yeah, no.
Mate, I was so sorry.
Oh no! Don't worry. Listen, let's not beat around the bush here. I'd had a few beers that first one, so there was plenty of mouth shouting going on. So I probably deserved a slap. I'm not sure a couple of weeks in hospital was quite what I was looking for, but anyway. But yeah, the second time was just a load of youths, and you have that. No one likes a song, didn't you? And they're singing that, so they might not have been Millwall though, but because there was no colours.
I mean, they probably were.
They probably were. Yeah.
In fairness,
We sing that song with pride, Carlos. So yeah.
I know you do. I quite like it.
In fairness, with Carl's reputation, it's every likelihood that Watford fans just basically thought it's an opportunity.
Probably.
Yeah. We even when he got out of his coma, we even he's out of his coma. We need a score prediction because we always get score predictions. And I've got this voice message, someone going, "Oh, let's call it. I'll go for a 1-0." I was like, he's awake. Excellent.
He's awake.
He's slurring. I can't really understand.
Like he's had about 12 Stellas, but he's awake. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you can smile and laugh about it, mate. And
yeah, you got to, haven't you? You have to.
Yeah, you do. You do.
And I went back straight away because it was that's the worst thing that you can ever happen to you is you go, I'm not going to go there because X, Y, and Z. And look, every village has an idiot. Watford have got plenty in terms of the supporters and whatever. We've all got it. And I hold no grudge at all. So I actually really like going to the Den. It's you get off at your own little train station down the path. It's lovely, and then back into London Bridge. It's a cracking day out.
Except for the London Bridge part, but
apart from going to London Bridge, that's the bit I've got wrong. I'm going to skip that bit.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now, mate, for sure.
No, all good.
So looking ahead to Monday. So just for the viewers' benefit, we are recording this before Millwall's game against Crystal Palace. So we've got that, that small occasion repeat a fixture, similar, different cup, with our dear friends Crystal Palace, particularly after their wonderful chairman, sarcasm certainly implied there, Mr. Parrish and his words about Liam Robertson and various bits and pieces. So very much looking forward to that tomorrow night. This will probably come out after that result and after that shebang's gone on. I'd like to think that won't cause us a distraction ahead of the game against you. Are you playing in this week? I don't know if you went through in the cup.
No, we lost to Norwich.
Yeah,
you lost to Norwich. Yeah, you brought that. So in theory, you got more break, more time to rest up from Saturday. So what are your thoughts headed into the game? I guess two questions. What are your thoughts going into the game, and have you seen any of Millwall this season so far?
I've seen none. I'll be honest. But my thoughts going into the game are I can't wait to see Loser coming back into the team. But it's like you say, I mean, we have got a week off. Depends how we're going to spend it. Are we going to spend it filming pointless videos, trying on blue shirts, posing as Elton John album covers, or are we going to do some training? Hopefully, we're going to do some training. I'm not looking forward to it, really. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I just started to enjoy going to Watford again. I think, okay, great, yeah, this is. And then last 2 or 3 games, I'm like, oh no, please not this again. So, yeah, personally, not looking forward to it at all. No.
I think we'll be looking forward to seeing absolutely Loser back in the middle next to Hector Cipriano, who we bought from Peterborough, who's been really good.
I like him.
He's a class operator. Apart from the fact that in that game against Norwich, he started playing as a centre back for some reason, and then anyway, he's back where he should be, which is something. And once he's got Loser next to him, that'll be great. Iran Kunda starting will be great. I think I'd like to see us start with that 5-3-2. Give us some solidity first of all. And when we played against Swansea, the first half against Swansea, we played that system, played it really, really nicely, and things work well because you've got Iran Kunda, who's got fast pace. He'll break the lines. He'll go beyond the forward, and suddenly the forward finally got some support going on. Lovely stuff. If we go a goal behind, then do what we did against Southampton and switch to the 4-2-3-1 and just go for it. Really, that's the point where we need to do it. On Saturday, he just seemed to freeze because we'd gone 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. It looked odd at times. You really was trying to work it out. And he made it was as limp a performance as you can imagine. And he made 2 substitutions, and it was like, what are you doing? Our front forward, the one we mentioned there, Luca Kierangard, is 22. The other one we signed was a guy called Semedo, who's 19, and he played out of Portugal, and we got him from Udinese because he'd gone to Udinese and gone on loan everywhere else. And a young lad called Dumbia, who's 20 now, maybe 19 still. 20. So we've got these young'uns have got to grow up fast. They really, really do. And you can see the manager either doesn't trust them or doesn't know what it is he really wants to do at this moment in time or how. And as I say, earlier on in the pre-season, things didn't sound like they were going. The noises coming out of the camp weren't that great in terms of how he was getting on with everybody. Seemed to sort of settle down and seemed to kind of be okay. And then we're trying to judge what we've got, which is a lot of youth. We've had a couple of players at the back, like Mark Boller, who was previously at Middlesbrough. He's come in on the left. He was good. Not seen on Saturday for some reason. Apparently, he didn't train until Friday, which as a professional footballer, I'd have thought meant he could have played, but no, apparently not. We've got depth in places, and you mentioned Petrus as the right back who's come in, because we've got the perennially injured Jeremy Ngakia, who until Saturday had probably had his longest run of literally 4 games or 5 games, including the Carabao, and had done all right. He'd done all right, but he's always one of these kind of frustrating going forward. Okay at the back. Petrus came in, and unfortunately, we really don't know what we've got, because it was a game where coming in as a right back in a confused 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, when everybody else was playing badly, I'm not entirely sure we know quite what we've got. But Blackburn, everything they did came down the left, and we kind of fannied about with it a little bit and gave it away. And that was why the lad Morishita got in and finished with aplomb. I think Blackburn will, if they play like that, and if somebody gives the freedom of the park to Todd Cantwell like we did, then they'll do all right. Anybody actually go in and organise against them, then they're okay. But we were beyond shocking on Saturday, and it needs to see a reaction. Otherwise, exactly as Justin said, Pezzolano is not going to last long enough with to get to the international break, genuinely. And we normally, Gino Pozzo always does all his wet work during the international break. I would.
We've had one.
One's
coming soon.
Yeah, I would lay odds he wouldn't get there if it carries on like this in the next 2 games.
I've seen not a great deal of Millwall, but I've seen plenty of highlights. But for some reason, all the highlights I watch tend to. I think the Wrexham game, I think you lost 2-0. What was the other one I saw? Who did you lose 3-0 to? You lost Borough. That was it. I saw bits of that as well. But going to Millwall is going to Millwall. It's always going to be a prickly affair and well organised side. I know you said that the Charlton game wasn't particularly good, but for me, whoever scores first in that game, because I think it'll be a close game, it'll be a tight game. I think goes on to win it. And if that's you, it will take something special from 2 players that we're relying on to turn it on and do something. And I think Millwall's a slightly different kettle of fish sometimes when you're trying to play the way that we play and try and cut through teams. And physicality wise, you're always going to be up there. And I think Pete said it at the beginning of this. We don't defend crosses particularly well at the moment, so it's going to be a close game. But if you gave me a draw now, I'd take it.
Well, let's do.
I saw the result that you got. Sorry. I was going to say I saw the result you got against Sheffield United and went, cool. That's a great result. And not obviously, it was still early days and nobody quite knew how much imploding Sheffield United were doing at the time. You got the result against Coventry in the Cup, which means obviously you got there, which looked good. And I saw the first half or many minutes of the first half on Saturday, which just looked poor from both sides. Basically, to my mind, it was just attritional, kind of championship fare, not particularly inspiring at all. Yeah. But that was prior to us going in and watching Watford play Blackburn. After watching that, I thought it was basically like watching Pirlo in his pomp, really, in comparison to what we did. So crying out loud, we may be coming to you like messiahs out of the night. We really could be.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting. I do believe the point around the first goal is so pertinent in this, because we need to. There was a bit of an echo there. We need to really make sure that we get that, because whenever we don't at the minute, we don't seem to be able to do too much. And I also think that you've got 2 very young and inexperienced teams as well. We've gone the same route. We've got so many injuries already. There's 5 players that I think would start if they were fit that already got injured. And this is not players that were injured over the summer. These are players that have got injured since the start of the season, which is just ridiculous. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So let's do score predictions then. I'll go sort of in a clockwise fashion. So starting with you, Justin, tell us, mate, what's your score prediction for Monday?
Well, as much as I don't like predicting against Watford, I our form is poor. So let's go for a 1-0 Millwall.
Millwall.
Carl?
I'll go for a draw. I'll have 1-1.
Pete?
Crikey. I love the way Justin always goes, oh, because that's life as a Watford fan there, right there. That's it. I think we're gonna kind of relive the ghost of Mileta Rajovic past and manage to get a late winner somehow. I'm gonna go 2-1 Watford out of sheer bravado for nothing else.
Based on nothing.
No, it's based on Ian from Blackburn. I appreciate this is a tantrum with a Blackburn thing on a Watford and Millwall podcast coming onto our podcast last week saying we're absolutely rubbish and we'll win 1-0. I'm hoping the same thing will rub off.
Okay, you're playing that game. I get it.
Yes, exactly. You're not a bad card to play. Yeah, I'll go we'll either win 1-0 or we'll lose 2-0. That's literally it. Basically, if we get the first goal, I'm confident we'll win. But if we don't, and you do, we'll spend the rest of the game trying to get back into it and concede another. That's literally been the story of the 2 home games we've had so far. So I don't see it changing. You're somewhat of an unknown quantity with the players that you've described. You just about now know them. We certainly don't. So it'd be interesting whether Alex Neil does, because I feel in a few games this season, I'm a massive Alex Neil fan. I think I do genuinely believe he's a top 6 championship manager, but there's been at least 2 games this season where he has got done tactically, and that's worrying. So, cool. We're a happy bunch, aren't we?
Yeah.
Cheerful, really cheerful. Great EFL football this is.
I know. We love it, really. Gents, any final words of wisdom before we close out?
Well, I'm going to look forward to having a chat with you about Alex Neil, because I agree with you about him. I think I think that could be the difference. If my 2-1 wish doesn't occur, it could well be because one of the reasons we got rid of Tom Cleverley supposedly was because he didn't have any experience, ignoring the fact that he was now more experienced than he was when he first got the job, when they fired him. Go figure. Alex Neil has got the experience. He knows the championship. There is no doubt about it. And so he might get done tactically, exactly as you say, but he knows what it's about. We've got such a young squad. We've got so many foreign guys in and around the front line who sometimes, have to get in and be in and around the championship for a while to get it and understand what you mean. We've got another game Tuesday. Yes, you have. You've got to go again and go again and go again. And they won't have experienced the Den, because so many of the other previous lot who were, okay, we came there last season and got a result, but we had somebody who knew the championship in charge of the club, and we kept going. I get the feeling that we've got more potential. We've got rid of a lot of the dead wood, but at this moment in the season, we're sort of experienced, and we potentially, you could just feel that we've got a bit of a glass jaw about us, because at no point, having gone a goal down in the second minute of the second half on Saturday, did we look at any point like we were going to do something about it other than bring on Iran Kunda. And when your tactical brilliance is let's bring on the good player, give him the ball and see what he can do, that's not tactical innovation. That's basically sleepwalking through the job and taking the payment and wondering when Watford are going to basically kind of put up the corner flag, which is the international sign language for Watford are about to sign or sack their latest manager, and then he'll go off with a payoff. That's the problem. We need to see everybody up their game, absolutely, including the manager at our side.
There are honestly so many similarities, and we can talk about it on your show in terms of just the manager aside, of course, but in terms of the players that we've signed that are very young, don't know the championship, and don't know what it takes to be a Millwall player. So your point there is they don't know the Den. Well, some of our players don't know the Den because we're signing a very different profile of player, which, don't get me wrong, maybe once they bedded in, they can be the player that, it just has a lot more, dare I say it, technical ability than players that we've had in years gone by. But if they don't have that experience, that championship experience, that Millwallness, it causes some problems. But anyway,
just imagine this though. Just imagine, go through the looking glass, go back to last December, and instead of Alex Neil, you sign Alexis Nikolosis. and he comes in from the Greek league or wherever he's been, and he doesn't know to tell those young players what this is about. He doesn't know how to prepare them because he's learning for the first time. There's the difference.
Yeah.
We are basically short-sighted, leaded by the blind, basically at this moment in time. He doesn't know what his best team is. We can't see that he's in management. He's working particularly well. He's changed the shape now 3 or 4 times, and sometimes you can see somebody goes, "I'm going to tactically change." Jokanovic, when we had him, for example, he'd suddenly do something, and you go, "Why on earth have you done that?" And then you go, we've got nothing of that from this guy just yet. Hopefully, he will develop into it, and we'll prove and eat our words. But at the moment, I think you've got the better in the hot seat, personally.
Well, I hope for your sake, because I always look out for Watford, having met you 3 fine gentlemen, after Saturday, that he does figure it out. After Monday, sorry.
Oh, Saturday's fine.
No, Saturday's fine. We'll take that.
Bloody sky. Well, gents, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Always enjoy these conversations, and yeah, we'll have a chat on your one now. But listeners, thank you so much for listening. As always, give us a like, share, subscribe. Please put your predictions in the chat. What do you think the score is going to be? And as you already know, everything we do is for Cancer Research UK. I am walking the Shine Walk on Saturday, so if you want to donate to that, please, also we'll put that in the description. Too many descriptions. Thanks everyone for listening, and of course we'll see you on the next one. As always, bye for now.